This 20-minute video will cover the new iLinx version 7 functionality. The highlights include that the capture interface now looks a lot more like Content Store interface. There's a new tab in Capture called Assigned Work where the indexing is completed, and there's been some change in terminology. Before you would complete and then release a batch, and now you submit a batch to Assigned Work, and then you submit the batch to Content Store after indexing. Also, we have new web addresses. You'll need to make sure you update your favorite links in your Internet Explorer browser. This demo will include instructions on how to clear your Internet Explorer cache, logging into Capture, scanning and loading documents, organizing documents, submitting documents to the assigned work queue, indexing documents, and then submitting the documents to Content Store. It will also cover Content Store, searching for and viewing documents, commenting on documents, scanning and loading documents on the Capture tab in Content Store, indexing documents, and annotating documents, which is new functionality in version 7. The first thing we need to do is delete local files on your computer. So you're going to do this by opening up the file folder. You're going to navigate to your C drive, so that's local disk C. Then you're going to navigate to Users, find your username. I'm logged in as eLopez. App Data, Local, and you're going to delete the entire image source file. So just click on it and push Delete on your keyboard. Confirm Yes. And then go to the Apps folder and delete the entire 2.0 folder. So again, I'm clicking on the folder and then hitting Delete on my keyboard. Confirm Delete, Yes. And close the window. Before you log into iLinx for the first time, you must clear your cache in Internet Explorer. Open up Internet Explorer, and in the upper right-hand corner you'll see a gear. Click on the gear and select Internet Options. On the General tab, you want to make sure you check Delete Browsing History on Exit. This is going to make sure your cache gets cleared every time you close your browser. Then click on Delete, and you want to make sure that everything is checked except for this one on the top, Preserve Favorites Website Data. You want that to be unchecked. We don't want to keep any temporary internet files. Click on Delete, click OK, and close your browser. And now you can open up Internet Explorer and use the new iLinx 7. The new iLinx web address is https://mcc/ilinx.miracosta.edu/capture or content, depending on which application you are accessing. The first time you access the new iLinx, you'll see this window in the background here that says that it's downloading a new application and that it's verifying the application requirements. You'll be prompted with this pop-up window that asks you if you want to run or don't run. Go ahead and click on Run. You shouldn't need any passwords or security to do that. And it sometimes takes about a minute, but then you'll be prompted with the iLinx login page. Let's quickly go over how to update your favorite links in Internet Explorer. You're going to need to do this as the web address has changed for both iLinx Capture and Content Store. First, open up Internet Explorer and then navigate to the star icon or favorites icon here in the upper right hand corner, and then find your two links for Capture and Content Store. They might be nested somewhere in one of your favorites folders. Once you find it, let's start with Capture. Right click on the link and select Properties, and the Properties window should open up. So the new iLinx web address for Capture is going to be https://mccilinx.miracosta.edu/capture. And once you're done editing the link, click OK. And now let's open up that Favorites menu again And now let's do the content store. So I'm going to right click on the link, select Properties, update the web address. So very similarly, the new web address is going to be https://mccilinx.miracosta.edu/content. When you're done editing the URL, click OK. When you get the login screen, go ahead and use your normal MiraCosta username and password. And you should land on the Assigned Work tab. You probably won't have anything in your Assigned Work tab. I'm an administrator, and so I see the Admin, the Report, and the Capture and Assigned Work tab. You guys should only see the Capture and Assigned Work tab. The Capture tab is where you're going to upload or scan in documents. To initiate a new batch, you would click on New Batch in this lower left-hand corner. You're going to select the batch profile that you're scanning into or that you're going to load files into. I just double-clicked on Admissions Counseling Manual Separation. If you right-click on the file cabinet, you'll see there are device options, scan, file import. You can upload from a camera. You can change the batch profile that you're using change type. You can delete this batch and you can index, but we don't have any documents in there yet. So let's start with device options. So here you can choose a default scanner or you can choose a default camera. If you clicked on Choose Default Scanner, you would normally see the scanners that are hooked up to the station that you're working at. I'm not currently working at a workstation that has scanners, so I don't see anything. You're only going to see the flatbed scanner, so only ones that have the Kofax or the Fujitsu drivers on them. You're not going to see your scan snap appear here. So if you do not want to choose a default scanner, you can leave it to Show Scanner Dialog before scanning. Then you would go to Scan, New Document, New Single Page Document, Unclassified Doc. If you select New Document, every page that you scan in is going to be put into a single document. So this would be if you were scanning in a multi-page document that had a front and a back, had maybe 3 or 4 pages to it, but were all part of a single document. New Single Page Doc would be scanning each page to its own separate document. I would recommend using New Single Page Doc if you're doing batch scans. Unclassified Doc is going to scan a document into the system and sort of hold it in this temporary queue, but it's not going to belong to any single batch that you're working on. It would be considered a loose page. I'm not hooked up to a scanner, so instead of scanning in, I'm going to demonstrate these same things using File Import. So if I say File Import New Doc, again, this is going to scan all the pages or all the files I upload into a single document. And I'll select a couple images here, and I'll select a few of them at once, and we'll do a couple documents too. And I click on Open. You can see it has scanned all of these documents and pages into a single document in Capture. If I wanted to separate these out, I can right-click on one of them and say New Doc with Selected, and it's going to create a separate document for that one page that I selected. If I want to add it back, it's a lot easier. You can just drag and drop it underneath the document folder. So let's say I want to add more documents to this batch. I can say File Import New Single Page Document, and I'm going to select those same files. So let's see, I think these are the same. Click on Open, and you can see it's added those 4 files as separate documents this time. So here's the first document that has all the pages in one, and then I loaded those same 4 pages as separate documents using the New Single Page Doc. This is where you want to organize your pages into documents. So you can do this by dragging and dropping into the various folders. Right-click either on the image or over here on the thumbnail to rotate right or rotate left. If you need to add additional pages to the document, you can right-click on the page and say either Insert Before or Insert After, and then select Scan, File, Import, or Camera. Select the file, and it will be added. The other way you can do this is right-click on the document folder and say Append, and then select Scan, File, Import, or Camera. To remove a page, you right-click on it and click Delete. This might be helpful if one of the pages you scanned in did not scan in well. Then you can insert that page again. When you select an image, it's going to show the preview of that image over in the right panel. If you select a Microsoft Office document, for example this Word document, you're going to be prompted with a file download. This is asking if you want to open the document to preview it in Microsoft Word, save it locally, or cancel. You don't want to see a preview. If you click on Open, Microsoft Word will open up and show you that file. This is true for all Microsoft Office documents, so here you can see the same for Excel. If you click Cancel, it's just not going to show a preview. If you select a PDF, it's going to show you the preview of that PDF right in the panel. You want to make sure that you get all of your pages organized into their appropriate documents on this Capture tab. So that means dragging and dropping the pages into their appropriate document folders. Any kind of rotating that needs to happen should happen here. You have the option to either index here on the Capture tab or submit the document, submit the batch, and then index them on the Assigned Work tab. I'm going to click Submit and index these documents on the Assigned Work tab. You can see that I've submitted my batch now, and if I click on Assigned Work and click on this Refresh button, I can see there's a new batch that got added. If you select this drop down, you're going to see all the different batch profiles. So there's files that are processing, errors, in use, completed, suspended, and then you'll see all the different batch profile queues. So here's the one that I just did. So if I double click on it, it's going to open. And you can see there's this red exclamation point on the batch. If I hover over that, I can see that not all required fields have been entered. So I have several documents that are missing a student name and a document type. These are required fields to submit these documents. So you can see that if I select this page, there's no preview over in the right panel. If you click on this download icon, it's going to download the preview of that image. So you can do these all at once for the document by clicking that download button on the document folder. So all pages in a document are going to have the same index fields. If you click on the yellow arrow, it's going to take you to the index fields. These index fields should work fairly similar to the previous iLinx. You can now hit Enter to tab between fields. If you want to pin this value for all documents in the batch, not just this one document, you can click on Pin Value. And we can see document type is a required field also. And you can pin the values for any of the values you want to carry to all of the documents in the batch, not just the pages within this first document. I would recommend pinning all values, especially the ones that are related to any lookup. So I had entered the student's ID and it found their social security number, their name, and their date of birth, and then I added document type. So I'm going to pin all of those values. And then you still have to tab through each of the documents to make sure that those values apply. If you try to submit without tabbing through the documents and applying all of those pin values, you're going to get an error message when you try to submit. So now you can either go back to the preview panel, or you could have submit from that first page. And I'm going to say don't auto-load the next item. When this is checked, upon submitting this batch, it's going to load the next batch. And that one's not mine. So I'm going to uncheck it and click on Submit. And it looks like it went through. If I go to the completed queue, I can see that it was submitted. Going back to my queue, taking a look at these other batches, if you right-click on a batch, you can submit, reject, lock, suspend, delete, email a link to this batch, see the history, select all, or clear selection. If you select history, this is going to show you the comments that were automatically generated. Now let's go search for and view my documents in iLinx Content Store. I'm going to open up a new tab, and the new web address is https://mccilinx.miracosta.edu/content. You're going to see that same downloading application information, and then you'll be prompted to log in. Again, you're going to use your same MiraCosta username and password. And when you first log in, you should see any of the applications that you have access to. Select the application you want to search for documents in. Each application is going to have its own search fields. They should be fairly similar to the older version of iLinx. So I'm searching for the student that I added documents for. And also I know that I scanned these documents today, so I'm going to select today's date. And here we can see the 5 documents I've loaded. If you double click on the document, it will open up. You can see it's opened on a new tab. And if it's an image, you're going to see the preview of the image right away. If you selected something, let's go back to that search tab. So I know this first one is a Microsoft Office document. It's a PowerPoint. And so it's prompting me to preview that document in PowerPoint. If I click cancel, then I won't see the preview of that page. PDFs and image files will preview in iLinx. If you needed to update the index values, you can do so here by selecting that same yellow arrow and then updating the index values and clicking Save. If you click on the comments link down at the bottom, you can see if there are any comments here. You can also add comments here. And be sure to click Save to save your updates. And if you right click, you can see that you have some of those same options as in Capture. So you can insert pages, you can remove pages, copy, replace, start new documents. If you right click on the document, you can also select Update Index Fields, export the index data, delete the document, and check it out. Now let's go to the Capture tab and see how we can add documents directly to iLinx Content Store. So you can see it looks pretty similar to the new iLinx Capture. You see a file cabinet, but this is already showing up. There's no new batch button in Content Store. If you right click, you'll see the device options where you can select your scanner or default camera again, or you can just scan New Document. Again, this is going to put all pages scanned into a single document. New Single Page Doc is going to put all pages scanned into separate documents. Unclassified Doc is going to cause loose documents that are not part of batches. Let's do File Import and New Single Page Doc, and then instead of seeing just Document, because we haven't selected a batch profile, instead now we're selecting the application we want to scan to. I'm going to select Student Services, and let's select some images this time. So because I selected New Single Doc, all of these images should load into separate documents. I can then combine them by dragging and dropping into the various document folders. Indexing your documents looks just like Capture. You're going to select the yellow arrow, select your document type, enter in any index fields, pin any values you want to apply to all documents in this batch. Be sure to select a scan date. This doesn't automatically happen in Content Store. Then tab through the documents to make sure the values apply to each of the documents. When you're done, click Submit. We can now go over to the Search tab and search for those documents that we just created. And here they show up. With the new iLinx Capture, we can now annotate an image. This only works on pictures and does not work on PDFs. Here's an example of some annotations I've already created. I've added text and highlighted. To hide these, right-click on the image and select Hide Annotations. To add your own, right-click and you can select either Add Text or Add Highlight. And then take your cursor, click and drag over the area that you want to highlight. You can then move it around. And when you're done, just click outside of the editing area. Be sure to click Save. Congratulations! You've survived the training video. If you need more help, contact your Department iLinx lead. You can submit a JIRA ticket if you have access to JIRA, or you can contact Eiley Lopez or Karen Brown if you have questions or need more help. Thank you. Good luck.